No black cats, just straight facts.
Triple P certified.
Listen, we can talk about odds all day. It doesn't matter what the odds are. It matters what's gonna happen. Welcome back to the Perfect Parlay Pursuit, the only show that bets on you. That's right. Guys, welcome back. It feels like it's been a while. We were here last week on the break week, giving you our early predictions for the fights that were announced on this week's card. UFC Denver, Cortez versus Namajunas. And we gave you a few picks last week. Shout out to everybody who commented on that episode. We got so many great comments. So many people were so pleased with the episode. So just, we're pleased you liked it. We know we have a lot of new fans here. I don't know where Dan just went, but while he's gone, I'll take everybody through, for the new people that are here, what we do every week. So this show is the Perfect Parlay Pursuit. It began when Tony Ferguson fought Justin Gaethje, when sports were brought back to America by the great Dana White. And that was our first episode. We came on the show to predict a perfect parlay. 6 episodes later, I predicted a perfect parlay. One of the fine women who was a part of that perfect parlay, Maria Agapova, fights this weekend. And we will get into that. She's in my DMs. We've been talking to her. We're negotiating with her to either get her on the show or get her in our army. A lot to talk about there. But this show has now taken a life of its own. We're in our 5th season. The show goes from May to May. And we have done a new gimmick this year, which is that we all put $1,000 into our sports betting accounts. And we are seeing, since last May now, how far we could get that up. Now, if you're looking at my dismally small amount, $391.70, go back a few episodes. I had this as high as 10 times that amount. And it's only through taking big swings with my big swinging nuts that I've actually lost quite a 90% of what of my bankroll that I built up from $1,000 to about $4,000. Here we are. This is the new landscape. Alex is in first place, Dan in second, me in third. I'm going to get it all back. It's fine. Don't worry. We have a whole year. We're good. But there are real stakes to this season, to this year. And the stakes are, if you hit 0, if that 391.7 goes to 0, I am not allowed to bet on any UFC fights at all anymore, unless it is my perfect parlay or a Triple P certified pick. And these stringent guidelines, these real stakes, if you will, also come with real rewards, which the winner of this year, whoever has the most money by May 9th, 2025, gets 50% of the other two's remaining amounts, remaining balances. There's a tax, and there's consequence. Real high stakes game we're playing here. Alex, Dan, welcome back. How you guys doing? Alex, we'll start with you, buddy. What's going on? I see you got your 76ers hat on. We're going to be in Philly together this weekend. I'm excited.
Unplug your headphones, please. Unplug your headphones. Thank you. Doing good. First place. Gonna win some more. I was just in Luke's shoes 2 weeks ago. I was at $325. Worked my way up to $579 and then back up $1,300. So just a couple weeks, you can have a big swing, Lukey. You can be right back up here in the big leagues with me and the little doggy that could, Dan. Dan, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. As you can see here with my total, I'm pretty much a steady Eddie, if you will. Just short of $100 less than when we started. But this coming weekend in Denver, which we didn't really touch on the last episode, I think there's going to be some wild outcomes. I think there's going to be some big value plays. And I think myself and everyone who follows my page on our Patreon, which is patreon.com/theperfectparlaypursuit, is going to win buco bucks. So I think I'm going to go above and beyond the $1,000 threshold that we all start out with. And I think maybe I'll take the top spot. All right. I took the top spot when it came to overall picks last season. This season, I'm taking the crown of most money earned, and it's going to be oh so sweet, and it's going to start this Saturday.
I love it. And here's the thing. You mentioned the Patreon. If you guys want to see how we're betting, if you want to watch the real-time drama along with the card, we have a live Google sheet that includes 4 tabs. One tab is there for you to see who we all picked, listed out nice and neatly for you. And then the other 3 tabs are our individual tabs, Luke, Alex, Dan, with the bets that we are placing that week. So you can see the rise, the fall, all of the things. I update mine live, assuming we are home sitting watching the fights with our laptops. We're able to update live as we're betting. A couple weekends ago, I was at a bachelor party, wasn't able to be as dutiful with my sheet, but I always put the bets that I placed before the night there. You might miss out on some live things, but for the most part, I'm always pretty diligent about getting my live picks in. I treat it like a personal obligation, responsibility to you fine folks, to let you know what I'm doing, what decisions I'm making, especially cash outs. I mean, that's the one thing I will always do my best to let you know about is, hey, I'm cashing out or I'm hedging out or I'm doing this and doing that. But guys, it's all good. I got some high noons here today. I've had one already. I got some Lay's dill pickle chips. I'm wearing a growl fit. Yes, the carpet matches the drapes. And it's gonna be a fun episode. I worked out today. I wanted to tell the boys we'll do a little 5 minutes of banter before we get into the fight card we already broke down. I've been working out recently, guys. I started doing jiu-jitsu again. Kind of had an epiphany. I was like, jiu-jitsu? I know enough of jiu-jitsu. I'm a 3-stripe blue belt. You know what I mean? I'm personally in my head, I'm a 2-stripe purple belt. I kind of Mark Schultzed it where it's like, take this purple belt off me if you think I'm not a purple belt. I'm more of a purple belt. I had my 3 stripes of blue belt pre-pandemic. Since the pandemic, I've definitely gotten way better. So, since the pandemic, I've watched 3,000 fights in a row. I mean, you can't tell me I'm not better. So, I'm a jiu-jitsu purple belt, and I went back to this jiu-jitsu school, and I'm like, these guys are smelly, they're sweaty. They would never even be in this position with me anyway if it were a street fight because nobody can take me down. I wrestled in fucking New Jersey, which is pretty much Dagestan. So, no one's taken me off my feet ever. So I'm like, I got to get my hands right. So I canceled the jiu-jitsu membership. I'm in a boxing gym now. I'm kickboxing. I'm hitting the bag. I'm doing combos. I'm getting my hands right. I'm getting my cardio right. I'm getting my abs back, But I'm in class with like 5 old ladies and me and this one other guy, and it's like, and it's harder than jiu-jitsu. I gotta tell you, it's way harder of a class. I'm drenched in sweat. My legs are sore as fuck. I can't do most of the workouts as good as any of these other people, these females. So it's humbling. I love it. And I'm getting in there every single day. I take my lunch break at work. I go right to the gym. This is the type of mentality I'm locked into right now, guys. I get to work early so I can take a longer lunch so I can work out during my lunch, shower. Who does that? Get back to work, running my 9 to 5, running hot, and then finish that up. I'm home. I'm hanging out with the daughter. I'm hanging out with the 2-year-old. I'm acting like Goofy. I'm acting like Lilo and Stitch. I'm fucking surfing around. I'm doing banter. I'm doing bits. I'm doing little bits for her. And then I'm right in here with the pod, with the boys, with my high and noon. I'm burning the candle at every single end. But I've never felt better. I've never slept better. I'm off the Zins. Don't let Andrew Huberman, don't let Lex Friedman, sincerely Lex, don't let Lex tell you anything. Lex is a pencil neck. We don't like Lex. And we don't like Andrew Huberman. So no Zins, no nicotine. If you got that monkey on your back, just know it's 3 days of hell, 7 days of hell, and then you're swinging clear. You're free and clear. Get off the Zins. No Zins, everybody. How we doing, boys? So any personal life updates for you guys in the next 2 or 3 minutes before we get into the card and talk UFC? I also want to touch on, we got Nate Diaz, Masvidal this past weekend. I won some money there. Great match. I watched the whole thing. Not sure if you guys did. We can talk about that. Khabib, McGregor, he's throwing out allegations. We can talk a little bit about that. And then we'll break down this female headline card, which, a couple weeks ago we were talking about maybe not even breaking down female fights anymore on the show because, we talked about that, but we're going to, the next card was a female headline card. So we're kind of like, all right, well, maybe we need
next
to
two.
Yeah, we got to give them a little breathing room before we just abruptly kind of stop. You know what I mean? But I don't know. There's a deal in any market. Right? There's a deal in any market. That's what I realized last weekend. I got a little action on the Phillies. I got a little action on Nate Diaz. And I said to myself, there's a deal in any market. So some might call that degeneracy, addiction, compulsion, whatever. I call it refusing to lose, refusing to lie down, refusing to take breaks, refusing to quit. This is not, we don't take breaks. No days off. So we live this shit. We do this shit. This is my favorite thing I do. I'm here for you. You fine folks. I don't have to be here. We don't get paid for this. We got the Patreon. You should be paying us. Get in that Patreon. If we get 5 new members, we will have I don't really think I should even promise this anymore. I have a new idea for Maria Gabova. Not to have her on the show, but to use some of the Patreon money to give to Maria Gabova to make her sort of our foot soldier. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, any life updates for you guys? I see you got a bucket hat on, Alex. So you got a hat on, Dan. You guys hiding something under those hats? What's going on?
No, I was just at the beach. Maybe a little sunburn on my bald head is the only thing I'm hiding here. But
let's see it.
Was at the beach this past weekend. So,
yeah.
Just a little burn up. Got this bucket hat because my head was a little burnt. So I decided to get out of the sun, escape some rooms, did some escape rooms, had a great time. Met up with Danny later in the weekend. Dan, any life updates for you?
No, nothing really. Had a great 4th of July. I did have my first wedding anniversary this past Monday. It was tremendous. We went back to where it all started, the great city of Philadelphia. Shout out to the 76ers and your bucket hat. We went to some of the best bars and restaurants, awesome food, great drinks, had the time of our lives. So love the city of Philadelphia, love my wife, and it was all good. It was all good.
Dan Bittman, noted wife guy.
Remember big time wife guy. Big time wife guy.
Yes, and we're 3 alpha chads, sigma chads, whatever you want to call it. Sigma grind sets in full effect. We have ladies that worship us. So if you're taking gambling advice from somebody who is single, you got to ask yourself,
no go.
They can't even, they can't even convince, a woman to be with them, and they're convincing you of things. Like, that makes you what? Like, that makes you less than.
Don't even say it, brother.
I don't even want to say it.
God, man, woman, dog.
I don't even want to say it, but Andy Kaufman will say it for us. Listen, it's going to be a great week. It's Wednesday already. We got 2 more short days till the fights. If you were itching for picks, we gave them last week. Go back, watch that episode. Give me another nice comment. I had a lot to say last week, and I still have a lot to say. We mentioned Maria Agapova. She said she would do our show. The price I offered her completely blind. I just said, hey, because she was homeless, right? She said, I'm homeless. I can't pay my rent. So I said, hey, Maria, I got $500 for you. That's what I said. So I got $500 for you. Little snack money, And she said, hey, I'm willing to listen to what you have in mind, but just so you know, I don't do any sex work. I'm like, Maria, it's for a podcast appearance. I'm like, chill, Maria. Like, so, she said she'd do it. Now I'm kind of having second thoughts. I'm like, we didn't put, I can't be chucking out $500 to all these.
The old bait and switch Lukey.
The audience
Luke, for one.
Respond. I thought you guys would be so pumped. I thought you guys would be
No, I'm not.
I'd be all right with it.
I don't want to interview anyone, let alone somebody who barely knows English, somebody who can barely win a fight, and somebody. Huh?
Not interview. She's gonna give picks. And here's what I think maybe we should do. Maybe just me and Maria, Athena May style. We have me, Maria, you two sit out that episode, do your own episode. Me and Maria, we talk shop. But I think what I'd rather do is let's fuck 500. Let's give her fucking 5,000 while she's in Denver, right? That's more than she's gonna make for the fight, probably. We give her 5K and we say we need 2 things. When they're filming you and Bruce Buffer's announcing your name, we need to make a symbol, like a gang symbol, like PPP, I was like, how can I make it with my fingers? I was like, I can get 2 P's, kind of like that's like 2 P's, kind of, right? But I was like, if we can do like a PPP, and get her to flash it to the camera, that'd be good. Or she just says like perfect play pursuit, like just say it right to the camera, that'd be good. But then I was like, more than that, I would rather her it's in Denver, Colorado. Anthony Smith trains in Denver, Colorado. Mark Montoya. I was like, he'll probably be one of the guys in the commentary desk, right? Like either in the high up one, like where they cut to in between fights, or not like obviously ringside, but he'll be maybe one of the people they cut to, right? And I'm like, if we could just get her to walk up to Anthony Smith with her phone recording and call him a punk bitch right to his face, be like, Anthony Smith, you're a punk bitch. Fuck you, you know what I mean? And say that's from the Perfect Play Pursuit boys. That could be like our own little thing, and we could kind of start doing it. So I was thinking we could just start sicking these fighters on the guys we don't like a little bit, with money. So I'm gonna ask her. I know she's doing a lot this week. I'm gonna catch her on Friday when she's hungry, when she's weighing in. You know what I mean? Or Thursday night. I'm gonna hit her up Thursday night and be like, all right, look, I got $550 for you. I got $550 right here, right now. I'll give you half.
You gotta think these fighters have.
I need you to throw a pea-filled water balloon at Anthony Smith's head, okay?
Exactly. These
When you look into it,
these fighters have no principles, no morals. They'll do anything for $1. They literally go out there in their underwear and bleed for you on site, on command, every single time they go out there.
No, wait. Don't give them that much credit, Alex. Don't give them that much credit. They do not go out there and bleed. They do not go out there every time. They don't go out there on command. How about Brendan Allen? How about Brendan fucking dumb fuck Allen? oh my God, let's talk about this fucking idiot. We've been calling Brendan Allen an idiot before there was even evidence to call him an idiot. And then he's continued to just give us evidence. I mean, from his call-outs that if a tree falls in the middle of the forest, if Brendan Allen calls out a contender, does it make a sound? No, it never has. Nobody listens to him. He always seems to call out the exact person the UFC is not going to give him at every turn, right? And he doesn't seem to get that, like, no one gives a fuck corporately. Like, maybe some fans actually do give a fuck, right? But corporately, the UFC couldn't be more of deaf ears for this man. He continuously tries to position himself, and he shoots himself in the foot every time. So the most recent one is they wanted him to fight Nasruddin Imavov in Paris. That's a sack job. That's a sacrifice job, right? They want Imavov to win. And he knew that. But he's like, well, if I'm not the main event, I'm not fighting him. And we can do it in America. And blah, blah, blah. It's like, dude, take what you can get, bro. Take what you can get. And not only that, it's like so short-sighted. It's like, who cares if you're the main event? If you get a win over Nasruddin Imavov, you're making a case to get the next fight, contenders match or a title shot. So you're making a case. Like, doesn't matter if it's in America, if it's in France, if it's first, if it's last, doesn't matter. You're on TV, you get a chance. And he never seems to really get that or understand that. Now what's he doing? Unemployed, sitting on his ass in Louisiana, fucking whittling. Looking his tooth on a crawfish.
I think he's got like just as many kids as Nico Price too. I think he's got a ton of kids.
Don't know how. I mean, can you imagine how dumb that woman is? If he's like,
way to hold yourself back on that one, Luke.
I'm saying, like, if he's as dumb as he is, he somehow tricked her. You know what I mean? It's like, but anyway, Brendan, we're only joking. Like, it's not that serious. You can be on the show. It's fine. Chill. Like, you're good, Brendan. You're good.
We love you, Brendan.
I know. I wouldn't go
Come on the show.
No, we're not interviewing any fighters at all.
No interviews.
Come on the show. We'll just sit on the side. By the way, I don't know if I got over the 4th of July weekend. I got pretty drunk, and Kai Car France was talking about his fight with what's his name?
Manel Kape?
Steve Erceg.
Oh, upcoming fight.
Which Steve Erceg is going to beat the fuck out of Kai Car France, right? But I comment on it. I go, Kai, what do you say to those who are calling you? No, what I said was, you couldn't show up to fight Manel Kape, but you showed up to watch in the audience. What do you say to those calling you sit and watch Kai or Kakakara France? And he didn't get back to me, but it's like, what do you say? What do you say? Because even Chael Sonnen, Kai, don't get mad at me. Chael Sonnen made a whole video about you. Did you even see it? Chael Sonnen made a whole video about you saying that he hates you. So like, don't come at me. Like, it's not just me. Even the biggest minds of the sport think that if you can't show up to fight, but you show up to watch, it's equivalent to being, a waiter who calls out of his shift and then shows up to eat at the restaurant the same night, right? And as somebody who's waited tables, I know Dan's a big fan of the Bear, but Dan's never worked a day in a restaurant. I think the Bear sucks. I worked in restaurants. I lived.
Never seen it though, right? Never seen it.
I've seen the trailer. I saw the commercials.
Okay, there we go.
I saw who likes it, and that's all I need to know. Okay?
I don't need to see it. I lived it.
Don't watch The Bear. If you need a good watch, Men in Black. Men in Black 1, Men in Black 2, Men in Black 3. Really inspiring. I think that's really what's kind of put me in this good mood, is that I watched Men in Black 1, 2, and 3. And, I mean, Men in Black 3 is so, like, I cried at the end of Men in Black 3. Like, it was that good. So, guys, free recommendation, Men in Black, the Men in Black trilogy. Do not watch Men in Black International, the 4th one where they completely jumped the shark and had Chris Hemsworth and fucking some no-name actress. It's, like, not Will Smith. It's not Tommy Lee. They're not even in it. Terrible movie. I get it 15 minutes and I was seething the whole time. It almost like, remember when we saw Paul McCartney live and then you could hear like the EDM band in the distance and you were like, should we go? I'm like, no. I have the Paul McCartney fresh in my ears. I don't need to hear
to clarify, we finished the Paul McCartney show. It wasn't like in the middle of it. We should leave and go. No.
We were on this high. Of like, wow, that was amazing. And then it was like, do we want to just try to, it would be like, you go out to a 5-star steak dinner and you finish the steak and it's like, you want to get McDonald's McFlurries on the way home? It's like, no, my palate is so like primed right now. I don't want that to be the last thing I taste before I go to bed. I want to go to bed with the Paul in my ear still. So that would be like what did I say? Oh, that would have been like that. What Men in Black 4 did to me after seeing Men in Black 3. I was so happy, and then that made me so mad. It almost washed it all away. But I'm just trying to remember. Men in Black 3, great movie. Anyway, this is neither here nor there, as they say.
What about Manel Kopp putting his elbow through Makayev's head at the PI?
Bro, and John Silva making a fan out of me just with his like reporting on the matter. I mean, it was so funny the way he reported it in Portuguese and then it's translated. My favorite part of that was when he said, "The Russians, bro, they didn't even do anything. They just stood there and watched Makayev take a dick." I was like, that's so funny. You was like, this guy's a fucking psychopath. Dude, Manel Kopp, you are my favorite fucking fighter. All I need you to do is bring me fucking Kai Kara's ears, teeth, and nose on a fucking necklace, dude. Please. In the ring under the unified rules. Holy shit, I actually have to clarify that for once, I think. But yeah, Kai Kara bad, Manel Kopp good. Don't let the media get it twisted. Kai Kara, he's got a wife, he's got a kid, he's hanging out by the pool, he's making silly faces. That is a black hat. Manel Kopp, a fighter who fights, is a white hat. It's I know it's a little confusing. It's kind of confusing. It's like Manel Kopp broke the law. He did no, he didn't. He's a fighter who fought at the UFC Fighting Center. Think about that. That makes more sense. He's fighting even when they don't pay him to. That in our world, it might seem like a bad thing, but it's not. It's actually in our world, that's a good thing. That's like, no, that's what we want them to do. Kai Kara, even when paid, will not fight. See what I'm saying? One guy fights without being paid to. One guy won't even fight even if you pay him. It's a huge difference. So, respond, Kai Kara. Respond. All the way in New Zealand. Me come afraid of you? I'm afraid of you? I'll be at the Sphere. Come see me at the Sphere. Oh wait, that's an expensive ticket. We got more. Okay, Nate Diaz, George Masvidal. Neither of you watched, right? I'm assuming neither of you watched. You guys are kind of broke boys. You don't really splurge, on pay-per-views. I get it. I bought DAZN. I bought the fight. It's Saturday night. I stayed up till 1 a.m, 2 a.m, actually, until the fight was over. They didn't make the ring walk till 1. I fell asleep like throughout most of the before fights and woke back up. And then once Nate came out, I'm wide awake. So here's what I'll say. Nate Diaz is the man for so many reasons, but no bigger reason than what he does for his friends, what he does for his teammates, what he does for the people that you guys don't even know about at home. That card, when you looked at it, you saw Chris Avila, you saw a couple of guys that train with Nate. And what did Chris Avila do? You guys might not know this. He beat Anthony Showtime Pettis in a boxing match. Anthony Showtime Pettis, who trains with Duke Rufus, Anthony Showtime Pettis, who made his bread and butter off of kickboxing, he could not hang with Chris Avila, who had a kind of shorter stint in the UFC than the champion Anthony Pettis, right? So Chris Avila gets it fucking done right before Nate Diaz comes out to fight. Nate was watching him in the back, getting hyped up from it, he said, drawing confidence from it. And the fact that Chris was on the card was a Nate Diaz move. I mean, Nate doesn't just come into here and take a bag for himself and run. He brings in his whole team. He brings in his whole people. He says, I'm not even going to be on the card unless you put this guy on the card. And when you look at Masvidal, and listen, I'm no Masvidal hater. Like, I like Masvidal, but it's like, who is Masvidal putting on? Nate puts on Chris Avila. Nate puts on these no-name guys. Nate puts on his whole team. What have the Diaz brothers been saying for their whole career? Shout out to Richard Perez. Shout out to Cesar Gracie. That's you put a mic in front of their face for all those fights in the UFC. You put a mic in front of his face. The first thing you say, hey, shout out to my team. Every single time, right? Masvidal puts on Neon. That's who Masvidal gives clout accreditation to. That's who Masvidal is sitting there doing promotional shit with, training. The kid who is most known for going up to other youngsters and talking shit to them while hiding behind security guards and being disrespectful, right? So it's like somebody who could not embody, and it's like Masvidal. It's not that he just doesn't embody the martial arts spirit. He doesn't embody the spirit of the streets, right? So it's like you're putting him on these kids that probably pay you, like you're selling your soul to the new Illuminati of these corruptors. I mean, the CIA has got to be behind fucking corrupting the youth with these Twitch streamers and these kick streamers in the same way that the CIA was behind crack in the 90s and, promoting rap music to the disenfranchised communities of America, right? Like that has to be the same thing that's going on, because these kids who are like drinking and doing drugs and with promiscuous OnlyFans women and all this stuff, like that they're turning and listen, I'm only 31, guys. I can't believe I'm the old man, like at 31. When I was, 13, 14, 15, a 31-year-old wasn't an old man to me. A 31-year-old to me saw like things. They knew my slang, talked just like me. They want to be Taylor Gang. Like they were at the concerts with us. They were cool. But it's like now I can't fucking think I can't think more differently than these youngsters. Like it's crazy to me that I'm an old man at 31. I'm the guy saying these kids these days, like, but I think I'm right. I mean, I think for the first time I'm actually right about this. Compared to like our, the seven, it took a 70-year-old when I was 13 to think that what I was doing was wild and shit. You know what I mean? Now it takes a 30-year-old to fucking go. These kids are fucking just this ain't my youth culture. Like I say, I don't. It's like at least a 31-year-old when they saw like who was popular for us, like the popular artists and stuff, right? They were like, no, I get it. That's cool. Like
Britney Spears. It's Britney, bitch.
Yeah, Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne is cool. Like, older people. They weren't like, it wasn't like, they were like, I get it. The most they could say is like, all these rappers, man, they got these names. Little this, little that, It's like, like everybody's either big or little. Everybody's either big this or little that, Remember there was those jokes. It was like, all the rappers had names big, and all the phones were big, and now all the rappers have names little, and all the phones are getting smaller. It's like, and the phones were getting tinier, and then the names of the rappers were getting little this. Big Pun, Big Sean, Big L, Big D Smalls, and now it's like Little Wayne, Little
Nas X.
No, different era. What are you talking about? But anyway, I hope you guys in the comments get my point. Chime in if you agree. I'm just trying to say that Masvidal uses his platform to put on, Jake Paul, put on Neon, put on these people, and betray
them all. He wants to fight Jake Paul. He wants to fight Colby Covington. He wants to fight everybody that loved him at one point. Does he still even go to ATT anymore?
Yeah. So
for what? What do you?
So here's what I'll say about the fight itself. A lot of people call it robbery, but here's how I saw it, and this is also how the commentators, the boxers, I think it was. It wasn't Shane Mosley. It was somebody else. I forget. But there was one of the box. It was like Mauro Ranallo, who I'm done with Mauro Ranallo. I know he's got mental health issues. I don't want to be too hard on him, but like he can exit stage left anytime he wants. He's gotten enough honors and enough honorariums and enough fucking, we love you, Mauro. It's like, okay, enough. Like enough. Get Mauro Ranallo.
Him and Robin Black, both of them. Get rid of the whole lot of them.
You could put Mauro Ranallo and Robin Black in a fucking bus, ship them to a fucking a Robert Plant fucking The Cure concert, and leave them there for the rest of the time, for all I give a fuck. You know what I mean? Take fucking those two, send them to Morrissey, let them get lost in their tour bus, lock them in there, and throw away the key. Because those two couldn't be more annoying to me at this point. I get it. Oh, the voice of pride. Pride is dead.
And don't bring that crazy yelling bitch over either, because that's the last thing I want to hear before a fight. Fedor! That crazy girl at Pride?
I don't know about. I'm not willing to jump on that ship with you necessarily, but it was Mauro Ranallo, some boxer, and Sugar Sean. Those were the three commentators. Guys, Sugar Sean can't talk. Sugar Sean is not like I've said this many times on the show. He was not given the acid. He is not an MK Ultra Justin Timberlake type of guy. He is a normal guy from Montana. Unless WMEIMG is going to take Sugar Sean and MK Ultra him, he's just not an entertainer. He's not a performer. He's just an average bloke. Like I don't get why people don't see this. He even with the face tattoos, even with the colorful hair, even with the pot smoking, he still is not like charismatic. He's got no riz. You know what I mean? And and for a guy, by the way, fuck Sugar Sean for a second. For a guy who's always talking about how short all these other fighters is, bro, you're 5'10" and a weight bully. You fight at 135 and are 5'10". I don't know if anybody's told you this on TikTok, Sugar Sean, but the girls these days want three things: 6 figures, 6 feet, and 6 inches. And you're a 135-pound 5'10" guy. I can almost guarantee you don't got 6 inches and you don't got fucking 6 feet. So you're still
come on,
you're
those
still short,
guys.
Sugar Sean,
lanky guys are always packing, Luke. You know that.
No. All that weight cutting, it sucks away at the dick first. It sucks away at the dick first. Here's what I'm gonna say. He wants to prove it. He can try to prove it, but I'm just telling you right now, he does not got 6 inches. He does not got 6 feet. So you're still short. And Sugar Sean is short. He is not 6. If you're 6 foot tall, you're not short. If you're under 6 foot, you're short. Sugar Sean's short. He weighs 135 pounds. He sucks his weight down to fight at that weight. The reason Ilya is ranked higher than you in the pound for pound is because he knocked out Alexander Volkanovski with ease, a guy that you said in your post-fight interview after beating Aljo that you are not going to move up to fight because you were afraid of him and knew he would beat you, and he would have. You couldn't do to Alex Volkanovski what Topuria did to him because you aren't durable enough and you're too thin from sucking all that weight, and your skin hugs your dainty little chin like that of a daughter scared of the dark to her dad's leg. Like it hugs it. You know what I'm saying? And Sugar Sean, you have 6 figures. That's it. That's all you have. You only have 6 figures. Okay. I have 6 figures and I have another one of the 2, and I'm not 6 feet. So we'll let you guys use your imagination, but I have 2 of the 3. You have 1 of the 3. You just have the money. That's it. I get the money too. So the point is,
I've got nothing. I've got none of the 6s.
I like Sugar Sean, but the whole thing of short shaming is like, it's so 2003, dude. It's so 2003. Like nobody fucking cares, and you're not tall either, and you're a pencil neck, and that's it. So
this seems like a lot of really deep-seated anger, huh?
No, dude, it's really not. It's like I'm just sort of
my voice didn't just raise for no reason.
No, dude, it's not. It's no. I didn't even know I was short most of my life. I don't walk around thinking like I'm a short guy. I walk around. I feel fucking 10 feet tall. Like
you didn't notice it when you were at the end of the line at graduation and girls were in front of you and you were literally at the end walking. You were the caboose.
No, it goes by your last name.
I was not at the fucking end.
No, it goes by height.
No, I was not at the fucking end, Alex. There were plenty of fucking kids that.
I think I could find a picture of it. I think I could find a picture of you tailing the caboose.
That's way different. That's pre-puberty. You're talking about 8th grade. Okay, you're talking about 8th grade. Okay, but listen, what I'm trying to say is that the short shaming of Ilya Topuria by Sugar Sean is lame because if he's so short, why is he fighting the weight class above you? You weight bully coward. Brian Ortega, weight bully coward. Daniel Cormier. I'm going to say this again. I actually became like. So, like, somebody posted, I was watching this More Plates, More Dates video about how Daniel Cormier had, like, 7,000 testosterone or something like that. And in the video, he cites this. I can't even show my phone, but it's a picture of Daniel Cormier, like, with all of his team lifting him up as he's cutting weight. And it's like, this is what making 205 always looked like for me. Can you imagine doing this without a team that lifts you when you're down, helps you when you have no more? I am lucky for these guys. And to think I go through this every Friday and became champion, put some respect on my name. Dan, we put less respect on your name because you were purposely dehydrating yourself and starving yourself to get an advantage on smaller opponents. You are a coward in that regard. It is not noble to cheat the system. By the way, Dan, you didn't make fucking weight half the time. You used the towel. So it's like you couldn't even get through that sacrifice and then fight. You had to cheat too. So here's the thing.
And on top of that, you're fat as fuck. You don't need to do so much water manipulation, buddy.
You don't lose the fat. It's like
go on a diet.
And I love Daniel Cormier, by the way. I love Daniel Cormier, but it's like I don't love weight bullies. You know, like I wrestled in New Jersey. Did I cut weight? Absolutely not. Was it because there was a better guy above me and below me? For sure. But hey, I still didn't cut weight. So what I'm trying to say is, if you cut weight, it is a cowardly thing to do. It is not cool to cut weight. It is not cool to dehydrate yourself so that you can have an advantage over smaller men. It is not cool to rehydrate yourself and weigh more the next day for the fight. This is all not cool. It's not ultimate. It's not fighting. It's not championship. It's none of the above, right? So I don't know. If some guy pulls me off my bar stool, I don't have time to weigh him in. I'm fucking cold clocking him right then and there. You pull me off my bar stool, you pinch my girlfriend on the butt, I'm not getting out of scale. All right, we're fighting right then and there. You say it's go time, it's go time. So I just don't like these weight bullies. I don't like people taking it on. There's no honor in it. There's no Fedor Emelianenko is the greatest heavyweight of all time. He didn't cut fucking weight. He didn't smile. He didn't cry. He didn't complain. That's why he's the greatest heavyweight of all time. Point blank fucking period. You know what I mean? John Jones didn't really cut a lot of weight to fucking fight at 205, right?
No.
Yeah. So it's like BJ Penn. These are the guys I like. Nate Diaz. He fought Masvidal at 175. Like he weighed in the night of the fight. I think it was like 179. Like my thing with weight classes are if you are training hard for a fight, and during that training process, the calories that you burn get you down to a weight lower than your walking around weight. That is fine. But then anything more than that is cowardice. So prove me wrong. Change my mind, Steven Crowder. All right. So, and I don't like Steven Crowder either. Fuck Steven Crowder. Fucking Canadian talking about our country. Go fucking back to Canada. Anyway.
He's Canadian?
Right? Clean up your own backyard. Clean up your own fucking backyard before you fucking come here talking about America. All right. So, what else? I think that's pretty much it. Oh, so Diaz, my point is Diaz, I thought he won round 1, round 2, which was amazing on Diaz standards because a lot of people know he kind of threw his first couple rounds away. And I thought he won rounds 8, 9, or 9 and 10. So that's 4 rounds that you can give him like for sure, right? Then in the middle, there were a lot of close rounds. So it's like, if he definitely won 4 in a close fight, you're telling me the 6 in between, Masvidal didn't win all 6. So the worst you could have called it, in my opinion, was a draw. If Masvidal had knocked Nate down with any of his power shots, that everybody's claiming, well, Masvidal landed the more power. And I agree with you, right? But it didn't knock Nate down. And Nate had more ring generalship. And they said Masvidal threw more volume. I didn't see it that way watching live. I kind of thought they were kind of miscounting a little bit. It seemed to me that a lot of Masvidal's punches were hitting, weren't like his volume wasn't like all landing clean. He did land some clean punches. Nate would hang around. He would kind of like hit, keep his hands down, and Masvidal would shell up for a while, and then he'd land like one big shot. That was kind of like what it was like. But none of them knocked him down. I wanted to see Nate get his hand raised at the end, but I was not optimistic he was going to. When I heard the first judge say it was a draw, I was like, that's kind of that makes sense, you know. And then the other two said 8-2 Diaz and 7-3 Diaz. Now, a lot of people like the MMA Guru are like, how it's not. It was a close. He admits it was a close fight. Admits that one judge could have it a draw. Here's what a lot of people fail to understand: if you're admitting it's a close fight and you're okay with the draw, 5-5, right? I know 8-2 seems like it's like a way bigger disparity, or 7-3, we'll call it. It seems like a way bigger disparity, but it's like all that really means is that what you thought was the case, 2 of them went over here, right? But you admit that they're all close. So I don't understand why it's so shocking. It's like, yeah, 8-2 because all the rounds were close and they gave him 2 more. Like I don't understand like where the confusion is. It's like he only won. We should just call the score 2-0, right? Like if it's 7-3, then really it's like it's 2-0 because in an otherwise equal 5-5, he won 2 more, right? It's 2-0 sounds a lot better than 7-3, you know? That's how I see it. And maybe that doesn't make sense to some people, but the way I'm trying to say it is like if all the rounds were close, then all the rounds were close, and you got to look at which ones did they definitely win, right?
Right.
So I think that Nate bookended it, and yes, somewhere in the 6, he got 2.
Would you say you got your money's worth watching that?
Oh yeah, because I placed a $250 free bet on Nate at 3-1 odds and won about or 2.5 to 1, and I won $550 on that.
Hell yeah,
profit. It was a free bet. So FanDuel does this thing where they say deposit match bonus 50% on your next deposit. I threw $500 into FanDuel, and then they try to make you bet that $500 before you can withdraw it. So I bet it, and then I cash it out because FanDuel, unlike DraftKings, if you place I hope they don't fucking hear this. It's a great loophole. If you place a $500 bet and then you bet it on a fighter or anything, and then they'll let you cash it out for the exact same amount you bet it. And that counts as having placed and sell it. I just go deposit 500, bet it on fucking, Islam Makhachev 10 months from now, withdraw it, you know what I mean? Or whoever, withdraw it. And now I have my $250 free bet. I put all that on Nate Diaz. He wins. Boom. I get my $525 right there. I also took 100 and put 50 on Nate by knockout, 50 on Nate by decision. And the knockout one seemed to make more sense at the weigh-ins when Masvidal came in with that pregnant, distended ass belly and shit. And Nate was looking good. I was like, I don't think Masvidal's going to be able to hold up for 10 rounds. Very impressed with Masvidal and Nate, 39-year-old men going 10 rounds hard, throwing 700, 900 strikes apiece, like crazy shit, like really high pace fight, good fight. I do think I got my money's worth because I actually won money on it. But also, this is when I knew that I'm with my soulmate because me and my girlfriend we're watching the fight 2 a.m, and she's on the edge of her seat like I am because she loves Nate and Nick, and she's like, when the decision gets announced, we're both when it was being announced, we're both kind of like already preparing ourselves for disappointment. We're like, man, like he's probably, I don't know if he won. I don't know. It was a close fight. Like they're probably not going to give it to him because Masvidal had those power shots. But in my head, I was kind of thinking like in boxing, that doesn't matter as much. In boxing, they care more about like the volume, the fundamentals, the ring generalship,
accuracy.
Accuracy. They don't really care as much about the punching power. But when they
if it doesn't knock somebody down, they don't care. If it knocks them down, then it matters, of course. But
so she starts, when Nate wins, she starts punching me like she's so happy. She's like Andrew Schultz on the couch. She's like punching me. She's like, like we were so happy. So it was a really good moment. We couldn't sleep for like another hour and a half after that. It was like, I went from being so tired to wide awake. Very happy with the win, and so I put some money on it. We won. Anything else we need to talk about before we break down this card again? We got a few more fights that have been added that we can break down. 12-fight card, an El Clasico as we call it here, a classic offering. I'm looking for Tapology alternatives. I hate these fucking ads. It's pretty pathetic that Tapology does this, but So yeah. Let's see. We broke down Rose and Tracy. We broke down Pons and Ibio versus Salikov. We broke down Bonfim and Angeluso. We broke down Brundage and Alassane. Broke down C-Rod and Arosa. Broke down Dober and John. No, we didn't break down Dober and John Silva. We broke down Santos and Maria Gabova last week. We broke down Friend and Petrosky last week. Broke down Van and Johnson. No, we didn't break down Van and Johnson last week. We didn't break down Montel Jackson, and we didn't break down Evan Elder and Darius Flowers. Looks like Jasmine Judavicius has a new opponent as well. She was originally going to fight Viviane Araújo, and we broke that fight down. So we got some stuff to talk about. We got some things to probably glaze over some of these other fights that we already did break down if we have any change of heart, change of opinion. But if you want the in-depth analysis on a lot of the ones that were announced last week, go check out that other video. And we'll start at the bottom, go all the way to the main event, since it seems more of the prelims are ones we haven't broken down. We can get 4 good ones in a row here. Evan Elder versus Darius Flowers. So, Evan Elder, Darius Flowers, first fight of the night. Guys, we're breaking down UFC Denver. And, I'm going to go use the restroom, but
who was Josh Van supposed to fight recently? He was supposed to fight a couple weeks ago, I feel like.
Was it Tagir Ulanbekov?
Ulanbekov, yeah.
Okay, and I thought that was going to be a tough fight for him. I was very high on Tagir Ulanbekov. Are we going over the Josh Van card right now, or the Josh Van fight now?
Evan Elder versus Darius Flowers. Van will be in a few fights from now. We'll break it down.
Okay. Do you guys remember Darius Flowers?
Yeah, he's coming off back-to-back losses. He lost to Michael Johnson last time, 4 weeks ago by decision, 21-19, Michael Johnson. Before that, he lost to Jake Matthews, rear naked choke, the Celtic Kid, now the Muslim Celtic Kid, 18 he converted. 18-6, Jake Matthews beat him in the calendar year. So, Darius Flowers had a Contender Series win a year and 10 months ago. He slammed Amran Gogaladze, 14-2 fighter. He TKO from shoulder injury from slam. That was how he made his debut in the UFC off the LFA knockouts over the last 2.5 years. Put together some LFA knockouts, gets on the Contender Series, gets a win. 12-7 Darius Flowers coming off back-to-back losses. 29 years old, taking on a 3-fight UFC vet in Evan Elder, who made his debut 2 years, 2 months ago against Pressure Preston Parsons, Triple P. After that, he lost to the Black Wolf, I believe his name is, Nazim Sajikov. Or is that Aliskarov? Who's Nazim Sajikov? What's his nickname? KO due to a cut, 7-1, Nazim Sajikov, a year and 4 months ago. Got a win 11 months ago, but hasn't fought in about a year. His last fight, Evan Elder's last fight a year ago, Ganado Valdez. He's 27 years old, still pretty young, at a Killcliff FC, 5'10", similar reach, similar height for these guys. And, this is going to be a lightweight fight. Both of them under 30. 2 years younger is Evan Elder. And, what do you guys think about this one?
Yeah, I know that Darius Flowers
do we have odds?
All that much success here. Yeah, I don't know what the odds are, but I like Flowers. I think he's a fighter's fighter. He goes in there, he puts up a shit ton of volume for being a muscled guy. The wrestling's not necessarily there. He's not the most skilled technical fighter of all time, but he's in there to win. His last two fights, Michael Johnson and Jake Matthews, two tough fights for your first two fights in the UFC. I like him as a fighter. I don't have all that much to say about Evan Elder, but yeah, I like Flowers here to pick up his first W. Don't know the odds. This one just flew across my desk, a couple hours ago it was announced. So maybe I'll take a little, secondary dive and do some tape study before the actual fight night. But, gun to my head right off the bat, I'm going with Mr. Flowers. Alex, you're muted, buddy.
Boomer much? I was kind of back and forth on this one quite a bit. I like Darius Flowers a bunch. He's got a very fun style. He's not very good, but he's, a veteran. He's got some veteran tricks out there. He was in there with Jake Matthews on very, very short notice. And, he's acting dazed, trying to lure Jake Matthews in because he knows he's going to gas. I think he only took that fight on like a day or two's notice.
Yeah.
I loved that. I don't love losing to Michael Johnson, though. But I will say there is a very steep difference in the level of competition between, a Michael Johnson and a Nazim Sadikov and a Pressure Preston Parsons. The one thing that I do think will make a huge difference in this fight, it's at 170 pounds. Michael Johnson's a little guy. If he's pushing you around the cage, I think Evan Elder's going to be able to do the same. I'm going to go with Evan Elders, just younger, bigger, stronger.
All right. I got to go, no odds yet, but I'm going to go with Evan Elder. I think it's one of those weird fights, right, where you look at Michael Johnson and Matthews as two opponents that this guy's lost to, and you think, well, surely Evan Elder at 27 years old, 8-2, is kind of a more formidable foe at this stage in his career than Michael Johnson was 4 months ago. Even though he is a vet and he's wily and he does have really good preparation and stuff, but Evan Elder trains with Michael Johnson at Kill Cliff, right? I mean, that's where Michael Johnson trains, I think. So, or is he ATT? I forget. I think he's ATT actually. We'll see. Either way, down in Florida. So it's like, okay, it could be one of those moments where Darius Flowers goes back, recalibrates, is like, I gotta change things. The most powerful element in the art of war, element of surprise. He's like, that was surprising. I didn't think Michael Johnson was going to beat me. I didn't think Jake Matthews was going to beat me. So I got to really fucking commit. He's kind of probably fighting for his job a little bit here. But guys who get in positions to fight for their jobs, it's like that's where Evan Elder was after his 2 losses. He got to win. So now he's kind of got pressure off, right? Whereas Flowers is pressure on. So I kind of want to wait and see the odds here. First fight of the night. Wouldn't mind, taking a stab on Flowers if he's a pretty big dog as just a solo bet and seeing where that takes us. But I'm going to just go with who I think is going to win. And it's going to be Evan Elder for me. I think that he's still young enough to see some big improvements in the last 11 months. So I'm going to go with Evan Elder to get the win by fighting safely, avoiding getting taken down and avoiding kind of really engaging too much. I think it'll be a boring fight, but I'm going to go with Evan Elder.
All right, fair enough.
Jasmine Judovicius is a new opponent. Fatima Klein. Interesting. She is fighting out of Hoboken, New Jersey. Hyde Park, New York. Holbrook, New York, not Hoboken. She's got half of her wins come by decision, knockout and a couple submissions, or a couple knockouts and a submission in there. No real notable opponents to speak of. If you take a look, a lot of losses in the grappling matches. So she's got win, 4 wins in grappling, loss. A lot of grappling for this girl. I don't know if I'm really ready to take a debutante. Granted, she headlined her last fight in the CFFC. I don't think I'm going to take her last 2 fights to CFFC. She headlined. Excuse me. I don't think I'm going to take a newcomer against Jazzy Jazz. I think Jazzy, if I thought she was going to beat our girl Vivi, then I got to go with Jazzy here. I think Jazzy's not going to get submitted. She Darce choked Priscilla Ketchware last time out. Looked really good doing that. Good fight. Give me Jazzy. I'm taking Jazzy.
I love this fight because I think it's going to make Fatima Klein look a lot better, and we're going to get way better odds on her in her next fight. I think Jazzy destroys her. Jazzy isn't making 125. I think this is a lot like the fight beforehand. Evan Elder cannot make 155, where Darius Flowers, his last fight, was at 155. Fatima Klein strictly fights at 115. Jazzy J, sorry, hon, I don't mean to, talk about a woman's weight. I never would. But she ain't making no 115. Okay? So we're going with Jazzy here. She's going to be bigger, stronger. She's going to put on relenting pace. Like you said, Luke, Fatima Klein, she's lost a lot of jiu-jitsu matches. One to Juliana Miller, who doesn't know how to wrestle, doesn't know how to do a takedown, doesn't know how to do any submissions either. Got to roll with Jazzy here. But I'm excited for when Klein gets her next fight, because she's probably going to get like the plus 200 treatment, go out there and smoke Angela Hill or something of that nature.
I like Jazzy here at minus 113. I like
Dump
that.
the trunk. Dump the truck if we bet on women's fights. I would.
Sadly, we don't, but this would be a situation where you would do that.
So Klein is Aaron Blanchfield's main training partner, and she's a 2-division champ at CFFC. Also, the fact that this is very last minute, like a couple days, right? And she's basically a break even on the line here. I think that says a lot. I think she'll be a little small going in there, and Jasmine's definitely not a weight bully, but she's a big girl in there. She's a big old Canadian that likes to throw her weight around. It's a striker versus grappler matchup, but as you can see, as you guys noted here, she has a lot of grappling experience as far as trying to get in there, trying to improve that skill set. I'm gonna go with Klein here. I'm gonna take the hype train. Not too much investment, but that's the pick.
Yeah, apparently all you have to do in CFFC to get title fights is raise your hand, because her only 2 fights in CFFC were for both of those titles. Okay. now that we got that out of the way, all you have to do as a lady 115 and 125 in CFFC is raise your hand, and you will get a title shot.
I guess so. Or they saw the tape on her. They're like, yeah, you're good enough.
Yeah, they saw the fact that she had only fought at 115 for her entire career at Invicta, and they were like, yeah, let's throw her right in for a title, Ronda Rousey style. This is the future. And, right after that, we'll throw her in for the 125 too, because this is also Amanda Nunes and Ronda Rousey rolled up into one bad mamma jamma.
That's what I'm saying. Is like, I don't respect UFC double champs in this division. The CFFC atomweight double champ, Amanda Nunes sucks. She got choked out by Juliana Penny. Didn't even try. Couldn't finish Jermaine Durandame. Couldn't finish what's her name? The last chick she fought, the Mexican chick from Guadalajara.
This is obnoxious. This is insane. This is what you're doing here. Like, who do you think you are? Who the fuck do you think you are?
Not even hiding it.
Like, at least mute yourself, or
I'm sorry. I know you hate the sound of people chewing.
What do you think you are? Joe Rogan and Elon Ma eating
Are
a bunch
you typically
of
a dill pickle guy as far as your chips?
Yeah.
I'm not really a typical chip guy, but I will say,
You're talking about working out and you're on this grind.
I know I'm so hungry from working out.
Slobbing over with the dill pickle chips in your crowd fit.
I'm so hungry from working out. It's like kind of not working out, because it's like I work out so hard and then I just eat, and I don't lose any weight. But yeah. And
anyway, good for you.
I work out. I feel like I've earned it. And then I have my chips, I have my high noons.
It's a lethal cycle, but I appreciate it. It's all good.
All right. Sorry, Alex. Sorry. I'll try not to eat so much on the show. I just
don't, not so much. Just fucking ever on the show. It's not one of those things where you can get by eating something every now and then. No, it's just like have a bit of professionalism here.
I'm sorry. Okay, so next we got Montel Jackson versus Damon Blackshear. Plus 125 dog, Damon Blackshear. Minus 150 slight favorite, Montel Jackson. Montel Jackson only lost in the last 5 years to Brett Johns 3 years, 11 months ago. Knocked out Jesse Strader, Aaron Carter's boxing coach. Knocked out decision JP Buys. Decision Julio Arce, and knocked out Hani Yaya in his last fight a year ago. So first two fights on the card, guys who haven't fought in about a year are here. And then, also you got Damon Blackshear. He hasn't fought in 10 months. Man, it feels like he just fought yesterday, right? It really feels like just yesterday that he got that twister against Jose Johnson, who's nobody's fool. And then immediately fought the very next week against Mario Batista, took him to a decision. Probably in hindsight, not the best move. But, he lost to Farid Basharat by decision. He had a draw with Yusuf Zalal. That rhymes. A draw with Yusuf Zalal. It's like a riff-raff lyric or something. Listen, man, I came in here thinking I'm going to pick Montel Jackson and really loving the fact that he's only a slight favorite because we think big things about him. I look at like Montel Jackson, Lerone Murphy, some of these guys who have like double-digit wins and only like 1 or 2 losses or are undefeated in some cases. Like, these guys I really think are some of the dark horses of the UFC. Guys who maybe people don't really know about them a lot, but they're some of the best talent. If you haven't fought in a year and your last fight was against gray-haired, balding Honey Yaya, and you couldn't get Julio Arce with 5 losses out of there, you couldn't get JP Baez out of there, I gotta say I'm tempted to take a little. I came in here thinking I'm going to take Montel Jackson. I'm tempted to take Damon Blackshear.
Pull the trigger.
A lot to prove here. I really respect Yusuf Zalal. To take him to a draw is amazing. We all respect Farid Basharat, 9-0. Took him to a decision. Gets 2 finishes against decent competition, Luan Lacerda and Jose Johnson, a knockout and a crazy submission. And then goes in the next week, fights Mario Batista, takes the requisite 10 months off after, those 2 fights. And I think is going to come back better than ever. He's 29 years old, 3 years younger than Jackson. Similar height, he's going to have a, 3 or so inch reach disadvantage. But I think what he lacks there is going to just give him more explosivity in his takedowns if he wants to take this fight to the ground. Look, I'm going to take a little shot on Damon Blackshear here. I'm not loving it. I actually might even have Jackson in a parlay. I could see Jackson being the more fluid guy, kind of like circling the square a little bit here, but I'm going to take a little shot on Damon Blackshear as far as my official pick goes, because the more I think about it, the more I think his last 5 fights are a little bit more impressive to me, and I think that Jackson's going to be a little surprised, and he could get this one done. I think he could get this one done. So I'm going to take Damon Blackshear. It's a monster.
Yeah, I'm with you on this. I'm a little bit more confident than you, though. We got Montel Jackson. His claim to fame is he has 12 knockdowns in 10 UFC fights, which is pretty damn good for a bantamweight. However, did some tape study. I did the most tape study on this fight out of all of them because this fight's awesome. I fell asleep doing tape study for Andre Petrosky during one fight. I was like, all right, done with that. But I did 3 fights, 3 of the last fights for Blackshear and Jackson. Here's what I'm taking away. Montel Jackson got mounted by JP Baez, who's a flyweight.
Mute your fucking mic if you're going to eat. Jesus Christ.
Oh, jeez. I thought I was muted for a sec. I got nervous there. He's fine. I can barely hear him.
I hear his back, and that's because I have headphones in, and anybody who listens to this podcast on headphones that will have to listen to him fucking smacking his lips will say the same exact thing.
These are so salty. My mouth was so fucking salty. I found this candy. I had to balance out the salty with the sweet. I'm sorry. Can you forgive me?
Normally people get a drink. You're getting little candies. But no, listen, I'll make this quick. Montel Jackson, a lot of power, not enough volume for my taste, though. Okay, he's only throwing like 50 punches per fight. You got
caramel stuck in my mouth. So sorry, I'm not trying to make you mad, Alex. Just
now he's sucking on his lips.
Mute your mic.
Okay.
Jesus.
I'm done.
He says okay, goes to press it, doesn't press it.
I don't need to. I'm done. It's fine. I'm done.
All right, I'm stepped on over here. I'm out of here. I'm going with Blackshear. That's it. So no. Take the camera off me. I'm done.
Why are you more confident? Why are you confident?
I'm getting the yank from vaudeville over here.
What makes you confident in Damon more than
like I said? Jackson's getting full mount by JP Baez. I think he got his back at one point in time. JP Baez, not the best in the world, and he's a flyweight. You got Blackshear here putting dudes in twisters. He's going up against Mario Batista. He might have won that fight. He landed more strikes than him. And that was on like a couple days' notice, maybe like a week, something like that. Way better. schedule of competition. Like, yeah, he's probably not as skilled of a striker, but he puts up more volume. I don't think he's ever been finished, which is what Jackson relies on. So everything is adding up for me to Blackshear, especially if you're going to give me underdog odds.
And one thing I'll say is Damon. Shit, I lost it.
He's a dog on the bone with that wrestling, dude. He
don't aim where they.
here.
Well, I'll caution people: don't aim where they are. Aim where they're going to be. If he did get mounted against JP Buys, he's also, like Damon, taken about 10 or 11 months off. So you can account for a better Montel Jackson than you've ever seen, which is scary to think about because he's already pretty good. Same with Damon, though.
Damon's 29. He's in his prime.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because, nothing really like stands off the page for me. If you look back at Damon Blackshear's career, he has some bad losses, whether it's to Chris Montino or Danny Sabatello or Pat Sabatini or, insert whatever one of those names there. The guys that he's lost to in the UFC, no shame in that. For Farid Basharat, undefeated prospect in the UFC. And then also, Mario Batista. He only has one loss in the UFC himself. If you look at Montel Jackson, he struggles with the wrestling. Ricky Simone kind of dictated the dance when they fought. And granted, it was a very, very long time ago. But that's how Ricky Simone dictated the dance. Hani Yahya had moments in that fight, if you ask me. I just think that you got to just go with Damon Blackshear on this one. I feel like he's going to have the grappling advantage, and I don't think that Montel Jackson is going to be able to land the significant enough strikes to be able to win a decision. But who knows? Who knows? The MMA guru brings up a good point. They only count wrestling if you're a woman or Russian. So who the fuck knows?
And Ben Askren had a pretty good point, who relies on wrestling more than Ben Askren to win fights. But he said, if you get a takedown with the last 10 to 15 seconds of the round or even 30 seconds, you don't do anything with it, that shouldn't fucking matter in the judges' criteria. Now, he was talking to DC about this. I get what DC's kind of point is, which is like all things equal. If, it's like if the score in a basketball game is 10-10 at the end of the first quarter and right with 5 seconds left in the first quarter, somebody shoots a three-pointer and now it's 13-10. They won the first quarter, right? So if it's equal, like you don't know who's going to win, it's a pretty close round. And then the last 10 seconds, 15, 30 seconds represents 1/10. It represents 10% of the fight. So if it's equal and then one guy wins 10% of it, 100%, he won 10% of it because he took him down and laid on top of him for 30 seconds. That's 10% of the fight, So you got to consider that. 10%. That's
a long ass time.
Yeah,
but they don't consider that. They don't consider that whatsoever. If you hold somebody down for 2 minutes and 30 seconds in a round, that's 50% of the entire round. How other guy has to do so much to come back from that. The other guy has to do so much to come back from that. 3 minutes into a round, 4 minutes into a round. If you don't damn near knock that guy out, there should be no path to victory in that round, in my opinion.
What I'll say is, like, you're Islam Makhachev, you're fighting Dustin Poirier. The fight ends and you have a huge gash here that is like going to be there for the rest of your life, a permanent scar. Put yourself in the guy's shoes that are in the fight, right? So it's like, okay, I don't want to leave here hurt. I don't want to leave here disfigured. I don't want to leave here with a scar on my face that I have to look in the mirror every day and remember this guy, and that guy can say, I did that. So damage does need to supersede control in some areas of the experience here, right? That's why I say, to me, what damage is knockdowns, visible damage, fight-changing damage, right? So leg kicks that result in a stance switch or a slowing or a movement switch. That would be what I say to that. Like, the leg kicks have to result in something. A takedown doesn't necessarily have to result in something, but if you got a takedown after he cut you open or rocked you or landed a lot of strikes, and it wasn't all things equal on the feet, I think you definitely do need to have one, probably 3.5 minutes of the ground exchange. You probably have to have, there can only really be about a minute of you not being in control if he beat the fuck out of you in that minute, right? Like it has to be. It can only be that minute, you know what I mean? That he's beating the fuck out of you. If it's 90 seconds him beating the fuck out of you, if it's 2 minutes him beating the fuck out of you, and you get a takedown for 3 minutes, and you lay there and don't do a damn thing, you know that's different. But if you're landing ground and pound, you're landing elbows, and it can't just be the last 10 seconds you posture up and land a couple elbows. It has to be, you know, if you almost finish him and you cut him open, do damage. That's one thing, but yeah, I think we're all on the same page there. Gegard, we always say Gegard Mousasi from his back against King Mo. Go back and watch that fight. I mean, I remember watching that fight and thinking, Gegard Mousasi, King Mo's got his head in his chest, and Gegard's going through, like, doing this. King Mo is not passing guard. King Mo is not looking for submissions. King Mo is not landing any strikes. Gegard Mousasi is swelling his eyes with fucking boxing from his back because King Mo is in that fight. I almost feel like Gegard won all 5 fucking rounds. You know,
I do agree with that, but I think that is, the exception doesn't prove the rule.
This is awkward. I put the pizza order in way before you started yelling at me, and it just got here because it had to get heated up. I will be so quiet. I will be so quiet while I eat this. I promise.
No, you'll be fucking muted. That's what you can be as loud as you want. You're fucking mic.
But what if I need to say something while I'm eating?
Don't talk with your mouth full. What is rule number 1 of eating? Don't talk with your mouth full.
I will not. Okay.
I'll mute your fucking mic.
I will.
And honestly, get off camera. I don't want to look at you either. You think you're cute? What do you think? You're Jorge Masvidal? You think you're a cute little?
That's good New York flop. Look at that. That's good New York flop. That doesn't have any New York flop. This is good bar pizza. Who's that? Steve Portnoy.
All right. Next up, we got.
I give it 6.8. 6.8. We're here in Maryland. I give it 6.8.
Okay. So Josh Van versus whom?
Charles Johnson.
Charles Johnson.
Yeah. I'm literally just gonna leave, I think. All right. Yeah, I actually am. And I got Josh Van, I got Drew Dober, I got Cortez, I got Salikov, I got Bonfim, I got Alisson.
It's a
I got Alisson. I got Rodriguez, I've got Santos and Fremd, and yeah, Dober, Blackshear, Van, Jazzy, and Elder. All right, see you later. Catch y'all on the flip. Bye.
I was gonna say that's a triple P first, but I think Alex has cried and taken his ball home a couple times.
It's a second or third. Listen, it's a bit. It was a bit, guys.
Oh. For all you listening with the headphones on, just take them out. Just listen on your phone, or put it in the car. It's fine.
Guys, I gotta fucking eat. All right. Joshua Van, Charles Johnson. It's just this one and then one more. That's all we got to do, Dan. Then we can get out of here too. I'm dealing with Joshua Van. Now, Charles Johnson's the type of guy to upset the apple cart for sure, but he's done it twice now. He did it against Azat Maxim, undefeated guy 5 months ago. He did it against Jake Hadley 10-2 1 month ago. Too quick of a turnaround. Way too quick of a turnaround. You got to remember, he fought O'Day Osborne to a split decision, lost, came back really quickly 2 months later, lost to Cody Durden, another decision. Then a few weeks later, he lost to a few months later, lost to Rafael Estevam, undefeated guy. Then he beats an undefeated guy, but it was his debut. Then he beats Jake Hadley, but, Jake Hadley's kind of a fuckwit. So, yes, he's going to have a little bit of a height advantage. Yes, he's going to have a little bit of a reach advantage. I'm talking myself into Charles Johnson here. I didn't know that the reach and the height was that much. I mean, Joshua Van, he relies on kind of his closing the distance, his boxing, or not, his boxing, his striking. It's not like he's going to close the distance, get a takedown here or anything like that. I think Joshua Van might be a little bit outgunned here. I don't like 2-1. I'm going with Charles Johnson at plus 160. I'm going
with Josh Van. Here's why. Charles Johnson's got a little bit of a little Nate Diaz in him. Takes the first round off. Waits for his opponents to shoot multiple takedowns on him. He defends them. They're tired. He's not. Then he pours it on late second round and into the third. That's not going to happen here with Joshua Van. He's going to be in his face the whole time. I think Van's striking is maybe he doesn't put up the same volume That's a question mark, though. I got to look into the stats, but I know he's perfectly adequate. I think he's got more power than Charles Johnson, and I don't think he's going to tire out whatsoever, which is kind of Charles Johnson's calling card here. Have better cardio, wait till the other guy gets tired, and then put it on. Not going to happen to Van again. And Van's only getting better. He's like 22 years old. He's already kicking ass. So I only expect him to exponentially get better. And I don't think Johnson is going to outvalue him. He's certainly not going to knock him out. Maybe there'll be a wrestling moment for Charles Johnson. He does have a wrestling background himself, and I've heard he's looking for his first submission. But Van's been defending takedowns pretty adequately, so I trust him there. Going with Van, minus 200 favorite for a reason.
I should say I feel bad now. I do feel bad that he left. We all look forward to this every week. I feel bad. I feel bad that he left. He did get a good hour in, but here's the thing. You guys got to know, Alex, he's kind of like traumatized by like people chewing. Like he hates it.
Oh, is that a thing? That's a thing?
It's a big thing. It's been a thing his whole life. I didn't mean to do, when I was doing the pickle chips, I kind of was like, this will be funny. And then once he freaked out, I saw the Carmelo sitting there. I was like, all right, I'm going to do Carmelo. And then I knew the pizza was coming. So I was like, this is going to set it up perfectly. Listen, this is what you got to do for entertainment, guys. I literally just, like, that's my own brother right there. I just fucking chased him off the show. I mean, this is for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. But I'm going, what are we doing? Yeah, we picked. And Alex picked too. Okay, yeah. So then, I'm going with, next fight. So I went with Charles Johnson. Next fight, the last fight that we didn't break down last week is John Silva, who was the guy who reported on the what's it called?
Manel Kape
thing. Yeah. It's not an assault, all right? If you walk into the Ultimate Fighting Championship Performance Center and you don't expect a fight, it's on you. You know what I mean? Like, that's like walking into Waterworld and expecting you're not going to get wet, you know?
Wait, so hold on. I know we already talked about this, but was it Makayev or Kai Kara France that he laid the smackdown on? Makayev, who he's going to fight later on. Oh, my God. So I was talking to Alex and a buddy of mine, and they were like, oh, the fight's canceled. Didn't hear anything about the fight being canceled, and I'm looking at the lines, like I think they're fighting 2 weeks from now. The lines are moving, so clearly the fight's not canceled.
In what direction?
It's just been like toggling back and forth, but it's at even. They're both like minus 110. Straight pick 'em.
Well,
I'm looking at Manel Kape. I mean, how can you not?
Because he doesn't have as good of wrestling, and Makayev is a really good wrestler. And Makayev's going to be so motivated to get the win. He's not going to be scared. He's going to be pissed off, you know?
I don't think that Kape, I mean, he's not going to be offensively taking people down, but he's interesting, though, he's not going to be easy to take down.
What's interesting, though, is that the UFC's making it because, the Masvidal-Edwards situation, the McGregor-Khabib situation, they kind of like threw cold water on a lot of these things because they don't want guys to be able to get a fight by doing illegal acts, right?
Well, they throw cold water until they don't, and then they take that footage and they use it in the promos. So it's not like...
Yeah. No, that's fair.
The Masvidal Colby thing, that already happened, so that doesn't count. But the McGregor Khabib, like they use that footage in the promo.
True, but that's because McGregor and Khabib are at the top of the game. And I guess Masvidal and Edwards are too, but guys that have not made a name for themselves, they can't give an avenue or a vehicle for them to get fights that they otherwise wouldn't be able to get just by going up and starting beef outside the octagon. Is kind of what the thing is, right? Like you don't want somebody to just be like, well, I want to get a fight with Alex Pereira, so I'm going to go throw an egg.
This fight was already scheduled. It was like already on paper, so they're not going to take it off.
That is actually what makes it okay.
Yeah.
All right. Drew Dober, Gene Silva. I love Gene Silva. I bet against him in his last fight against Charles Jourdain. I looked like a fucking asshole after that. Charles Jourdain, fuck off. That was fucked up what you did there. Should not have gotten knocked out. I'm going with John Silva. I think this is crazy how close this line is. I think John Silva's going to fuck Drew Dober up. Drew Dober's 35 years old, guys. Drew Dober's taken 13 losses. Drew Dober got knocked out by Matt Frevola. Drew Dober, almost got knocked out by Bobby Green. Drew Dober almost got knocked out by just about everybody he fights. Similar height, similar reach. I love Drew Dober, but he's going to get the shit beat out of him here. Knocked out cold. John Silva all the way, all day, all night. Be right back. Talk slow. I got to piss so.
All right. This fight is a little bit all over the place for me. The one hand, you got the power puncher in John Silva. On the other hand, you have the Crimson Chin in Drew Dober. However, as Luke alluded to, 35 years old, has taken a knockout loss as of late. That was the Matt Frevola fight. Let me see how far back that was and how many fights Drew Dober has had since. Going up onto his page here. The Matt Frevola fight was May of 2023. Since then, he got a win over Rick Glenn. Kind of doesn't mean anything. And then he lost to, that's right, Renato Moicano. The wrestling got to him. Again, we haven't really touched on this, but we got the whole Denver elevation thing going on for a guy who's coming off a fight 2 weeks ago, has to go through another weight cut, although probably not because it's up a weight class. It's at 155. Will that have an effect on being kind of the smaller guy? Can Drew Dober kind of bully John Silva here, maybe take him down? I don't think so. I'm going to go with Silva, fighting out of the fighting nerds. They got a lot of aura.
Think about it. Will Drew Dober do that? No. He's going to stand and bang.
Yeah, I know. And he's got a lot of liabilities,
perfect.
right? He's been relying on his chin being ironclad, and I don't know. I mean, he had the one knockout loss. Everyone's kind of jumped on it, be like, "Oh, Drew Dober's chin is cracked now." It's like, yeah, maybe. I don't know. Give the guy one knockout loss in his career. Like, we can give him a little bit of leeway here. Is it possible that he's fatiguing now at 35? Yeah, it's possible, but I want to see it one more time before I actually declare it. That being said, though, I'll take the 27-year-old Silva coming out of the camp that is red hot right now. Always has a good game plan. I'm not crazy about it, though. I'm not crazy about it. I think Drew Dober can possibly withstand the heat that Silva's going to be bringing and out-volume him. He has the advantage of actually being from Denver and all that. I don't know. He'll be bigger. I'll take Silva, though. I'll go with the aura fighter. I'll go with the hotter camp. Is what it is. Oh, geez. There's some back channel.
No. What I really wanted is him to tell me his full picks because I fucking I wasn't listening when he was rattling them off as he was about to leave.
Yeah.
Well, last week the two Trilby certified picks we had last week were Luana Santos over Maria Gabova, which is kind of disrespectful and crazy, and Tracy Cortez over Rose Namajunas. So the only two we were able to agree on last week were the lady fights. I don't believe we Trilby certified anybody here today, did we? The ones we broke down. Let's see. I picked Evan Elder. You picked Darius Flowers. You picked Fatima Klein, I think, right? I picked Jazzy J. Do we all pick Damon Blackshear, or did Alex pick Jackson?
No, I think we're triple P certified on that.
On Damon, okay. And then Charles Johnson, I picked him. I think Alex picked Van. You picked Van. And then now John Silva, you're taking Drew Dober, but right?
No. I'm going with Silva.
No. And here's why: because Drew Dober, 35 years old, 8 years older, and 35-year-old fighters lose weights below 170 at a disproportional rate. Then you got to also factor in 35-year-old guys when their opponents are 8 years younger. That 6 year is kind of the mark. Here's what happened here. Drew Dober said, "Get me on this card at all costs because it's nearby." He's gonna have everyone, his mom, his mom's boyfriend, his fucking stepsister, his stepbrother. Everybody's gonna be hitting him up for this to get into this event. He just wanted this. He said, "I'll fight anybody. Just get me on this card." They said, "Okay, here's John Silva, fucking idiot." And now he's dumb. So he's like, "Okay." So Drew, happy to be here, Dober. Going to get knocked out. Going to be happy to have it done to him. Justin Gaethje's the guy who beats his ass in the gym. Justin Gaethje just got knocked out by Max Holloway. Max Holloway doesn't knock people out. These guys all suck. Trevor Whitman needs to get off his sewing machine. And Coach, I know he doesn't train with Trevor Whitman. Drew Dober trains with Mark Montoya, right?
Yeah, Factory X, I think.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just trying to say that Drew Dober is to Mark Montoya as Justin Gaethje is to Trevor Whitman in that they both, Drew Dober is going to lose, get knocked out, and get beat by John Silva. I don't know why it's pick 'em. There's a lot of fights here that are close. There's going to be a good card. I think these are the cards coming off a break week, off a holiday week. Great betting wise because no one's paying attention. Everyone's kind of rusty. I bet on Nate Diaz. I'm not rusty. So it's like we're looped up. We're ready to go. Guys, we love you. I hope you appreciate the bit. The bit here was that I said I was working out and that I'm getting in shape. And then I ate several candies, bags of chips, and pizza on the show and drank alcohol. That's the bit. That was the joke. So jokes are always funnier when you explain them. Alex didn't get it. Alex didn't get the joke. But he'll be here next week for you guys. Don't worry. He's really mad. He says, regardless, our pod is already bad enough with your lack of sound quality and mics and picture quality. We don't need to make it worse by eating or yelling. He was the one yelling. Whether it's a bit or not, if I hear that on the pod, I immediately turn it off. So if you're with Alex, be back next week. It won't happen again, guys. I won't
comment below your thoughts. We want to hear.
Comment below your thoughts.
Are you dissatisfied with the chewing? Did you find it funny? Did you immediately turn it off like Alex? Where are you at with the chewing on the pod?
And here's the thing, guys. I mean, it's been 5 years. I've never eaten on the pod. It's been 5 years. I had to eat today. And I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I thought it was funny and it was a joke and it was intentionally done. But that being said, Alex is upset. When my brother hurts, I'm my brother's keeper. Way more than Chris Dawkins. I'm my brother's keeper. And I feel bad. But I also, what are we going to do? We got to move on. Okay. So let's go through our full picks, top to bottom. If you're going with me this week, let's see. We're going top to bottom here, so I can give you guys and go back and watch the other episode if you want our in-depth breakdown on the ones we didn't cover today. Rose Namajunas versus Tracy Cortez. I'm going with Tracy Cortez. Slight underdog, only one loss. Rose stinks. I'm going with Tracy Cortez. I'm going with Santiago Ponzinibbio. I'm going with Angelusa. I'm going with Cody Brundage. I'm going with Julian Arosa. I'm going with John Silva. I'm going with Luana Santos. I'm going with who did I pick last time? Andre Petrosky. I'm going with Andre Petrosky. I saw Clint picked Andre Petrosky, and I'm kind of out on that now. But he needs to get this win, so I think he's going to get it. And then I'm going with Charles Johnson, Damon Blackshear, Jazzy J, Juzavicius, and Evan Elder. Those are going to be my picks top to bottom. Alex listed his off, but last week he took Cortez, Salikov, Bonfim, Alisson, C-Rod, Santos. He's taking Jazzy J this week. He took Fremd by TKO last week to break the trophy certification. Dan, go through your picks top to bottom if you don't mind, and we'll get the fuck out of here.
All right, I think I got some changes here from last week. Maybe one or two switch ups. Starting from the bottom.
Break them down. If people break them down, I don't mean to rush you out. You can totally break them down.
No, it's all good. I might say a little something, but nothing crazy here. At the bottom here, we got Darius Flowers, Fatima Klein, Damon Blackshear, Joshua Van. Here's a switch for me. Josh Fremd. Okay, I talk shit about the Trayshawn Gord guillotine. I talk shit about the who's that guy? Trains with Joe Selecki, black dude. We don't respect him. Nobody does. Whatever. He took him down.
Oh, I do. Nightwolf, Jamie Pickett.
Jamie Pickett. However, I watched the fight with Josh Fremd, Anthony Hernandez. Okay, he's going to be putting on a lot more pressure than Andre Petrosky is going to be doing. And Josh Fremd held his own. Hit some really good strikes. He was very clean strikes, even reverse position a couple times on Anthony Hernandez in his first fight in the UFC. I don't know what's been happening since then, but I liked what I saw out of Josh Fremd. He's also a factory X guy. He's at Colorado at the altitude. I think he's going to hold up a whole lot better than Andre Petrosky. Not crazy about it. Not going to have super high amount of investment, but I'm going with Josh Fremd. I'm switching over. Luana Santos, I think I'm picking. However, I'm not going to have her in any parlays. In fact, I'll probably have Maria Agapova in maybe a couple just because the value's awesome. It's a lady fight. She's a good striker. If I'm getting plus 300 on a lady fight in altitude, yeah, I'll take that. The pick is Santos. Okay, the pick is Santos, but she's minus 400. That's insane. Not doing that on any parlays. Okay, moving on. We have
that's where this has gotten to. That's where this has gotten to now. That's crazy because this was pretty much like a pick'em. Agapova was a very slight underdog a couple weeks ago, so
Bro,
that we talked about how the trophy certified picks
on the Maria side. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. And we talked about this on the show before where you have to take our, 65 to 70% accuracy, the 65 to 70% accurate rating on trophy certified picks, apply that to the implied probability of the fight. If the fighter is, minus 165 or better, you can bet it. But we are not really taking anything 2-1 that's trophy certified as a pick that's going to win. That is outside of our implied probability success rate of the trophy certified picks. Go back historically, you will be profitable if you just correlate the success rate of the trophy certified picks with the implied probability. So that's super important. Slow it down if you didn't understand that, but that's 101 level shit. I'm going to switch to Maria Agapova. I'm switching to Agapova right now just to untrophy certify her, just to make it an impossible situation. Because at the end of the day, Maria Agapova won me my perfect parlay. 6 fights into this 6 events into this show, she won me my perfect parlay. Go back and watch the headline video on the show. I'm taking Agapova here. Maria, don't do me wrong. Call Anthony Smith a punk bitch to his face for me if you don't mind. So I'll switch that. I'll knock her off as a trophy certified pick, Santos, and go with Agapova. That just leaves Cortez and Blackshear, I believe, is the only 2 trophy certified picks because you're going with Darius Flowers, right?
Yeah.
And Alex, did he go with Elder or Flowers? Do you remember?
He's going with Elder.
I think so too. I'll send in this link and make sure it's accurate afterwards. But you guys can go back and rewind before he left. He gave his picks straight up. So for me, Cortez, Ponzinibbio, Lusa, Brundage, Arosa, Silva, Agapova, Petrosky, Johnson, Blackshear, Jazzy, and Elder. I really don't like the Petrosky pick. Him getting knocked out by a hip bone last time, that was not good. Fighting too soon after that. No, he's taking beatings in the gym. Too stiff. All right, trophy certified Josh Fremd. I'm switching off Petrosky. So there we go. We got 1 trophy certified out in Santos, 1 in Fremd. Is he a favorite too? Or is it Pickel?
This has been going back and forth. It's been Pickel.
All right. So yeah, Elder, Jazzy, Blackshear, Johnson, Fremd, Agapova, Silva, Arosa, Brundage, Lusa, Ponzinibbio, Cortez for me. Slow that down if you need it. Alex was Cortez, Salikov, Bonfim, Alisson, C-Rod, Silva, Santos, Fremd, Van, Blackshear, Jazzy, and Elder, I believe. And Dan, you went with Flowers, Klein, Blackshear, Van, Fremd, Santos, Silva, C-Rod, Brundage, Bonfim, Pons, and Cortez. Does that sound good?
That sounds good. Yeah. Yep.
So that leaves Blackshear, Fremd, and Cortez. Those are the 3 trophy certified picks. Wonderful stuff, everybody. This is going to be a card we can all make some money on. This is going to be a good card. I love you guys. Thanks for joining the show. Get into that Patreon if you want to see the open bet sheet. We really need the support. We need money to do big things like pay Maria to be our foot soldier. So come on in. We're welcoming you. You can DM us. You can see the open bet sheets. We got a Discord. Get in that Discord. Chat with us during the fights and leave a comment. Let us know what you think about this episode. A little bit of a different situation. Cheers to everybody. We love you. And thanks for being a part of the show, Dan.
Love you guys. Catch you next week.
Later, everybody. We love it.
Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.